Hidden beneath the grandeur of St. Peter's Basilica lies a world cloaked in shadows. The Vatican, long revered as the heart of faith, may also be the keeper of Earth's most unsettling truths. Behind its guarded walls are secrets that question the nature of God, time, and life beyond our world. What if ancient texts were buried to protect a truth too powerful? What if the stars are being watched not for science, but for prophecy? This journey uncovers 20 haunting mysteries that the Vatican may be hiding, truths that could shatter belief, stir wonder, and forever alter our understanding of our place in the cosmos. If you're ready to uncover the secrets the Vatican doesn't want the world to know, don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing revelations and forbidden history. Vatican's hidden underground, a city beneath the surface, beneath the grandeur of St. Peter's Basilica and the Vatican's ornate courtyards lies an invisible world, a subterranean maze of catacombs, tunnels, and sealed chambers that stretches for miles beneath Vatican City. Officially, the Vatican Necropolis, a burial ground dating back to the first centuries of Christianity, is accessible to select visitors. But beyond what tourists can see, whispers speak of far deeper and more forbidden levels, and zones that have never been mapped publicly and are strictly off-limits even to many church officials. These deeper vaults are rumoured to contain not just the tombs of saints and popes, but scrolls and relics long erased from Christian history. Some claim that these underground corridors shelter heretical texts excluded from the Bible writings that present alternate versions of Jesus' teachings, prophecies, and even encounters with beings described as shining ones or messengers from the heavens. What makes these claims even more provocative is the growing speculation that alien artifacts recovered from ancient sites or crash incidents are hidden here. UFO researchers allege that the Vatican, with its vast intelligence network and historical reach, may have secretly acquired evidence of non-human contact centuries ago and concealed it beneath its sacred ground. From strange metallic fragments to encoded scrolls that reference star beings, these alleged items are said to be protected not just for safety, but to prevent a spiritual and philosophical crisis that would ripple across the globe. In essence, the Vatican's underground isn't just a burial site. It may be a vault of hidden truths that challenge the very foundations of human history and belief. 2. The Vatican's role in witch hunts, covering up the unexplainable. Between the 15th and 18th centuries, tens of thousands of people, primarily women, were accused of witchcraft and executed across Europe. While commonly portrayed as a battle against paganism or superstition, some researchers believe the Vatican-led Inquisition may have been something far more insidious, a systematic silencing of individuals who encountered the unexplainable. Historical records reveal that many accused witches described vivid encounters with glowing beings, mysterious lights, voices from the sky, and strange visions that, by today's standards, echo reports of alien abductions, UFO sightings, and altered states induced by contact with non-human intelligences. These people weren't always invoking satanic powers. In many cases, they simply claimed to have knowledge or experiences that defied the norms of the time. Rather than investigating these anomalies, the Church responded with fear and force. Through the use of torture, forced confessions, and public executions, the Vatican suppressed anything that deviated from orthodox teachings. It branded these individuals as heretics, sorcerers, or devil worshippers, ensuring that their stories would be erased or demonized. 3. Pacts with dark forces, more than just metaphors. Throughout its long and complex history, the Vatican has been accused of forming covert alliances, not only with earthly rulers, but with far more enigmatic entities. These allegations range from symbolic partnerships with demonic forces to whispered pacts with interdimensional beings. While mainstream theology explains angelic and demonic apparitions within a spiritual framework, some researchers argue that ancient records describing beings of light, sky visitors, or wheels of fire might reference early encounters with extraterrestrial intelligences. During the medieval and Renaissance periods, numerous popes and inquisitors claimed to experience visions involving radiant figures descending from the heavens, descriptions that eerily parallel modern UFO sightings and alien contact reports. Could these have been misunderstood interactions with beings not from heaven, but from another dimension or planet? Symbols found within Vatican art and architecture further fuel these theories. Complex geometric patterns, all-seeing eyes and solar discs appear not just in churches, but in papal chambers and official seals. Some believe these are encoded references to ancient knowledge passed down through esoteric circles within the church, knowledge that includes cosmic forces far beyond human comprehension. Moreover, tales of secret rituals and Vatican-held grimoires raise questions about whether certain elites sought communion or power from non-human intelligences. Were these entities angels, demons, or something in between? And if contact was made, what was promised in return? 4. The Lucifer Telescope, watching the stars, or watching them return. High atop Mount Graham in Arizona sits one of the world's most advanced astronomical facilities, the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope, VAT. Operated by the Vatican Observatory in collaboration with the University of Arizona, this state-of-the-art instrument has drawn intense curiosity, not just for its scientific purpose, but for the device it once housed, ominously nicknamed Lucifer. Originally an acronym for a German-designed infrared instrument, Large Binocular Telescope Near-Infrared Utility, with camera and integral field unit for extragalactic research, the name raised eyebrows worldwide. Though the nickname was later changed to Lucy to avoid controversy, conspiracy theorists seized upon it as symbolic, suggesting something more than mere astronomy was taking place on that mountaintop. Why would the Vatican, a religious institution, invest in cutting-edge space observation? Some theorists claim the Church is monitoring a specific celestial body, perhaps a rogue planet, an artificial object, or even a watcher returning from deep space. Others suggest the observatory is used to track and analyze UFO phenomena or interdimensional portals, as Arizona is a hotspot for strange activity. 5. Fatima's hidden prophecy, celestial secrets concealed. In 1917, 3 shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal, claimed to witness a series of apparitions of the Virgin Mary. During 6 visits, the Virgin Mary supposedly gave the children 3 important messages, known as the 3 secrets. These messages were meant to warn or guide all of humanity. The first 2 were later revealed, foretelling World War II and predicting the rise and fall of Soviet communism. But the third secret, long withheld by the Vatican, remains the subject of intense speculation and suspicion. Though the Church officially disclosed a third secret in 2000, describing a symbolic vision of persecution against Christians and a bishop in white being killed, many believe this was only a sanitized version. Some theorists argue that the Lady of Fatima may not have been the Virgin Mary at all, but an advanced being appearing in a form the children could understand. Witnesses present at the final apparition describe the miracle of the sun, in which the sun reportedly danced, spun, and zigzagged in the sky, behavior consistent with descriptions of UFO phenomena. 6. Final reflection. Is the Vatican preparing for disclosure? As governments around the world begin to declassify UFO files, and scientists discover potentially habitable exoplanets, the question arises, where does the Vatican stand in this growing cosmic dialogue? Daniel Sheehan said,
Because as you know, President Carter, when he was governor of Georgia, had seen a UFO. Yes. Not just one of these faraway lights in the sky, but a UFO which he was...
For centuries, the Church has been seen as the guardian of spiritual truth, yet its conspicuous silence on the extraterrestrial question feels increasingly out of step with modern curiosity and even suspicion. The Vatican has, on rare occasions, hinted at openness to the idea of alien life. In 2008, Father José Gabriel Funes, then head of the Vatican Observatory, famously stated that believing in extraterrestrials does not contradict faith, and that such beings would also be God's creatures. But why offer this statement at all? Some people believe the Vatican has been quietly preparing for a major revelation, something big they've known about for a long time, and are slowly helping the world get ready for. Many theorists argue that the Vatican has already amassed a wealth of knowledge on the subject of ancient texts, celestial records, and alien encounter testimonies, all buried in its secret archives. The Church, they say, may be playing a long game, carefully crafting a theological framework to absorb the seismic impact of disclosure without fracturing its foundation, whether through observation programs like the Mount Graham Telescope, its guarded diplomatic influence, or its mysterious vaults of ancient knowledge. The Vatican appears to be more than a passive bystander. As the world edges closer to a post-disclosure reality, the Vatican's actions, or lack thereof, may soon reveal the true depth of what it knows and what it has chosen to keep hidden. 7. The Vatican Secret Archives. 53 miles of sealed knowledge. The Vatican Apostolic Archives, formerly known as the Secret Archives, span a staggering 53 miles of shelves, holding over 35,000 volumes of historical documents. While the Vatican claims the name secret simply means private, the extreme level of control and restricted access has led to decades of speculation. What's buried within this colossal repository may go far beyond theological records and papal letters. Some researchers and insiders allege that the archives conceal lost biblical gospels, heretical writings, and even ancient star maps, records suggesting contact with celestial entities or knowledge of the cosmos, far in advance of humanity's known timeline. Others whisper of classified correspondence between the Vatican and world governments regarding unexplainable phenomena, including UFO sightings, alien encounters, or interdimensional experiences. Could the Church have been quietly advising global leaders on matters that transcend earthly politics? There are also persistent rumours of relics and devices stored deep within the archives, objects believed to be of non-human origin, locked away to avoid public panic or theological upheaval. Requests to access specific documents often result in silence or bureaucratic dead ends, and only a select few elite scholars are granted limited access. In a world where truth is power, the Vatican's grip on these secrets raises profound questions. Suppose even a fraction of the rumours are true. In that case, the archives may not only contain the true history of Christianity, but the hidden story of humanity's encounters with otherworldly beings, long buried under scripture and silence. 8. The betrayal of the Templars, protectors of forbidden knowledge. The Knights Templar, one of the most powerful and enigmatic military orders in history, were originally formed to protect Christian pilgrims during the Crusades. But over time, they amassed immense wealth, influence, and perhaps most crucially, secret knowledge. According to many alternative historians and conspiracy theorists, the Templars may have uncovered hidden relics in the Holy Land, including sacred artifacts, lost scriptures, or even evidence of ancient extraterrestrial contact. Some theories claim that beneath the ruins of Solomon's Temple, the Templars discovered objects not of this earth, devices, scrolls, or energy sources that defied the understanding of the time. These findings, it's said, were quietly transported back to Europe and hidden in strongholds across France, Scotland, and Portugal. Such a revelation would not only threaten the Vatican's spiritual monopoly, but also grant the Templars untold power. In 1307, under pressure from King Philip IV of France, deeply indebted to the order, Pope Clement V turned against the Templars. In a swift and brutal purge, their members were arrested, tortured, and executed. By 1312, the order was officially dissolved, but many question whether this was merely a financial and political decision, or a strategic move by the Vatican to eliminate a group that knew too much. 9. Vatican's alien files, hidden under St. Peter's Basilica. Deep beneath the hallowed ground of St. Peter's Basilica lies what many believe to be one of the most secure and secretive vaults in the world, an underground archive said to house some of the Vatican's most classified and controversial documents. Among these, according to several whistleblowers and alternative historians, are files detailing extraterrestrial contact dating back centuries. Father José Gabriel Funes, one of the Vatican's chief astronomers, shared.
I would say, as the one where we live with 100 billion of galaxies, with each galaxy with 100 billion of stars. Probably with many of these stars having planets, it could be possible that life could evolve as the way we know on Earth.
Father Funes says he is not sure if other forms of life would be more or less intelligent than humans, but he is convinced that the existence of aliens is not a contradiction with the Catholic faith.
These alleged alien files are said to include ancient records of celestial visitations, unexplained aerial phenomena observed by clergy, and even first-hand accounts of encounters with non-human entities. Some sources claim the Vatican intercepted communications, possibly in unknown languages or mathematical codes, that were deemed too destabilizing for the public. Reports suggest early popes, especially during the Renaissance and the Age of Exploration, may have been made aware of these incidents and quietly passed them down through confidential church channels. There are also claims that some alien artifacts recovered from crash sites or ancient ruins are stored within the Vatican's secret vaults, hidden from the eyes of historians, scientists, and the public. If true, these relics could offer concrete evidence of intelligent life beyond Earth and proof that the Church has long known we are not alone. 10. The 33-day Pope mystery, silenced over disclosure. In 1978, Pope John Paul I shocked the world by dying suddenly just 33 days after ascending to the papacy. Officially, his death was attributed to a heart attack. Yet no autopsy was ever performed, and details surrounding his passing remain inconsistent and clouded in secrecy. Over the years, this has fueled one of the most enduring mysteries within Vatican history, and given rise to chilling theories that he was silenced. While many believe Pope John Paul I was preparing to expose financial corruption within the Vatican Bank, a more provocative theory suggests his untimely death may have involved something even more explosive: knowledge of extraterrestrial contact hidden within the Church's archives. According to some insiders, Pope John Paul I was open to modernization and radical transparency. He reportedly supported reviewing sensitive files and had requested access to various sealed Vatican documents, including those dealing with unexplained phenomena. If he indeed discovered records of UFO encounters, ancient non-human artifacts, or evidence of celestial beings referenced in secret theological texts, he may have considered public disclosure. Such a move would have had monumental consequences not only for the Catholic Church, but for global faith, science, and politics. Those who subscribe to this theory believe that factions within the Vatican feared the loss of control such a revelation would bring and acted swiftly to prevent it. 11. Dark files from the Inquisition, the supernatural. The Inquisition, launched in the 12th century and lasting well into the modern era, is widely known for its brutal trials and punishments aimed at rooting out heresy. While its public legacy is one of religious fanaticism, torture, and control, some believe the Vatican's sealed Inquisition files hide far more unsettling truths, specifically early encounters with paranormal or extraterrestrial phenomena that defied religious explanation. Witnesses brought before the Inquisition didn't always describe witches or heretics in conventional terms. Some accounts, according to suppressed whispers, included stories of luminous beings, floating apparitions, and voices from the sky, details that sound eerily similar to modern reports of UFOs, alien abductions, or interdimensional visitations. Rather than examine these experiences, inquisitors condemned them as heresy or satanic deception, effectively burying anomalous evidence beneath religious judgment. David Childress, author of Technology of the Gods, said, "You have to wonder if the secret library at the Vatican, which they acknowledge exists, doesn't have records or chronicles about extraterrestrial contacts that the Catholic Church has recorded." The Vatican's archive of Inquisition documents, still largely inaccessible to the public, is believed by some researchers to contain first-hand testimonies of supernatural events, strange symbols etched by prisoners, or descriptions of non-human figures in cloaks of light. Some theorists argue these were early alien contact experiences, misunderstood through the lens of medieval theology and swiftly labelled blasphemous. End 40. By locking away these records, the Church may have intentionally suppressed phenomena that didn't conform to doctrine. If these files were ever released, they could rewrite not only religious history, but humanity's understanding of our place in the universe, and who may have visited us long before the term extraterrestrial was ever coined. 12. Miracles the Church ignores? UFOs as divine signs? Every year, people around the world report thousands of extraordinary events, sightings of radiant lights descending from the sky, glowing figures appearing above sacred sites, and spontaneous healings following encounters with strange energy beams. While the faithful may interpret these as miracles, others note a striking resemblance to modern UFO and extraterrestrial phenomena. The Catholic Church has a rigorous, lengthy process for validating miracles, and only a select few are ever officially recognized. But what happens to the rest? According to insiders, many events that don't align with traditional theological frameworks are simply ignored, buried, or dismissed as unverified. In particular, reports that resemble alien encounters, with descriptions of flying discs, non-human beings, or mysterious voices communicating universal truth, are said to be excluded from investigation entirely. Some researchers argue that these suppressed miracles may represent a different form of divine contact, or even interactions with advanced intelligences, misunderstood through a spiritual lens. Could some Marian apparitions or healing visions be extraterrestrial visitations filtered through human faith and perception? The 1917 miracle of the sun in Fatima, Portugal, witnessed by thousands, was described as a silvery disc zigzagging in the sky, emitting radiant colours. Was this a miracle or a mass UFO event? By refusing to acknowledge these reports, the Church may be protecting its doctrine, but also missing an opportunity to confront one of the greatest mysteries of our time. Shazan, Lost Masterpieces, Paintings of Beings from the Sky. Within the Vatican's private art collection, far beyond what the public ever sees, lies an alleged trove of lost masterpieces, paintings, and relics that may challenge not just history, but the very boundaries between faith and the unknown. Among these rumoured works are images depicting celestial beings, radiant discs in the sky, and glowing visitors descending from the heavens, elements that bear a striking resemblance to modern descriptions of UFOs and extraterrestrial encounters. Some art historians and conspiracy researchers suggest that these visual anomalies are not symbolic, as traditionally believed, but may instead represent real sightings or interpretations of unexplained phenomena witnessed by early artists or religious figures. One frequently cited example is the Madonna with St. Giovannino, a 15th century painting attributed to the school of Filippino Lippi, which clearly shows a flying saucer-like object in the sky, observed by a man and his dog in the background. What else might be hidden in the Vatican's sealed vaults? Works deemed too controversial or theologically inconvenient to share. Some believe that certain tapestries and murals contain beings with elongated skulls, multi-limbed forms, or suits resembling futuristic armour. These visual cues may not have been fantasy or divine metaphor, but genuine attempts by early observers to document interactions with non-human intelligences. By restricting access to these pieces, the Vatican may be deliberately concealing visual evidence of early alien encounters, masking them beneath layers of religious symbolism. Could ancient artists have painted what they truly saw, beings from the sky misunderstood as angels or gods? The truth may hang, literally, behind locked doors. 14. Erased women of the Church, keepers of forbidden law. In the earliest days of Christianity, women played powerful spiritual roles as deacons, preachers, healers, and prophets. Some even led congregations and wrote sacred texts. However, as the early church aligned itself with Roman imperial authority, these women were systematically erased from history, their voices silenced, and their writings condemned as heretical. But beyond political or gender motivations, some researchers suggest a deeper reason. They may have held knowledge that threatened not just male power, but church dogma itself. Numerous Gnostic and apocryphal texts, many unearthed in the Nag Hammadi library, hint that female mystics received visions involving celestial beings, voices from the heavens, and contact with light entities. These encounters were often deeply spiritual, but they didn't always conform to orthodox theology. Some scholars speculate that these descriptions may represent early interpretations of alien or interdimensional contact, filtered through the lens of divine experience. Figures like Mary Magdalene, once revered as a close companion of Jesus and possibly a spiritual equal, were recast as repentant sinners. Other female seers had their legacies destroyed or folded into male-dominated narratives. Were these erasures simply the product of patriarchal consolidation, or an intentional effort to suppress first-hand accounts of otherworldly encounters? By eliminating these women and their mystical experiences, the Church not only reinforced a male-dominated hierarchy, but may have buried a rich tapestry of forbidden lore, accounts of contact, knowledge, and cosmic insight now lost to time. Shawu, Vatican dirty money, funding the silence. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, IR, has been the subject of decades-long scrutiny for its secretive operations and murky financial dealings. Accusations of money laundering, mafia connections, and illicit financial flows have repeatedly surfaced, casting a shadow over the Church's spiritual image. But some researchers suggest the corruption may run even deeper. The money may be tied to clandestine operations involving extraterrestrial knowledge. One of the most infamous incidents is the mysterious death of Roberto Calvi, known as God's banker. In 1982, he was found hanging under London's Blackfriars Bridge, with bricks stuffed into his pockets, a scene staged to look like suicide, but widely suspected to be a mafia hit. Calvi was deeply entangled with both the Vatican Bank and Banco Ambrosiano, which collapsed under the weight of massive financial fraud. But what was he funding? Some theorists propose that part of the Vatican's black budget expenditures, hidden through these financial networks, were funneled into cosmic research, secret archives, and even containment or study of alien artifacts. With billions potentially unaccounted for, it's plausible that some of these funds supported the suppression or monitoring of extraterrestrial contact, ensuring that no public leaks would challenge the Church's authority or global control. If true, the Vatican may not only be hiding ancient cosmic truths, but actively funding their secrecy through covert financial channels. Roberto Calvi's death may have been more than a banking scandal. It could have been a silencing linked to truths not of this world. 16. Secrets of Vatican exorcisms, battling entities from elsewhere. The Vatican has long maintained an elite group of trained exorcists, tasked with confronting what the Church defines as demonic possession. Thousands of cases have been logged over the years, with some so disturbing they remain sealed within Vatican archives. But a growing number of exorcists, scholars, and insiders have begun questioning whether all these entities are truly demons or something else entirely. In rare and extreme cases, Victims under possession reportedly speak in unknown languages that don't resemble Latin, Aramaic, or any human dialect. They reference stars, distant planets, or galactic civilizations, and sometimes refer to the others, or beings who exist beyond the veil. While traditional theology says this kind of behavior is just the devil trying to trick people, some exorcists trained by the Vatican, speaking privately, have said these cases feel very different from normal demonic activity. A priest in the US is one of the world's few Vatican-trained exorcists. Shared, I start praying. She lunged to me like a wild dog. She's like, "Oh my God, I think I jumped back 5 feet." And those voices that came out of her mouth said, "Well, who's he? He has no power over us. That's what happened when he was." Trying to help a woman who'd become possessed at the hands of childhood trauma, raped by her father, and I went over and laid my hands on her head and started praying. And then the demon started laughing uncontrollably at me and says, "You can't get rid of us." Certain possessions display knowledge far beyond human comprehension. Advanced physics concepts, unfamiliar cosmology, or warnings about planetary events. This has led some researchers to suggest that interdimensional or extraterrestrial beings could be involved, either as the possessing force or as influences contacting the possessed. In this view, exorcisms may be contact events, not spiritual warfare. Is it possible that the Vatican is dealing with non-human beings during exorcisms without fully realizing what they are? If that's true, the meaning is huge. What the Church calls evil spirits might sometimes be strange beings from beyond Earth, trying to push the limits of what humans can understand. The fight for a person's soul might not be just about good and evil. It could also involve forces from the stars. 17. The final Pope prophecy, a cosmic collapse. In the 12th century, St. Malachi, an Irish archbishop, reportedly received a series of prophetic visions while visiting Rome. These visions became known as the prophecy of the popes, a list of 112 short Latin phrases, each describing a future pope. Many researchers have noted uncanny parallels between the mottos and actual pontiffs. Most chilling of all, the prophecy ends with the 112th pope described cryptically as Peter the Roman, who would preside during the destruction of Rome and the Last Judgment. According to many believers, Pope Francis, the current pope, is the 112th, signalling that we are living in the final chapter of this apocalyptic vision. While mainstream church officials downplay the prophecy as non-canonical and likely a 16th century forgery, its resonance with current global chaos, rising conflict, and church scandals has reignited interest. But some modern interpretations add an even more extraordinary twist, that the prophesied collapse of Rome may not just be a spiritual or political reckoning, but a cosmic disclosure. The theory suggests that the Vatican has long known about extraterrestrial intelligences and has concealed this truth out of fear it would shatter religious foundations. The final pope in this reading could be the one forced to reckon with this revelation, either by choice or necessity. 218. Secrets beneath St. Peter's more than a tomb. Beneath the majestic dome of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City lies what is traditionally believed to be the tomb of St. Peter, the Apostle and first Pope. While parts of the Vatican necropolis are accessible through tightly controlled tours, vast portions of the underground complex remain off-limits, shrouded in secrecy and speculation. According to some researchers and conspiracy theorists, what lies beneath is far more than a sacred burial site. It is rumoured that sealed chambers hidden beneath the basilica may contain ancient relics, stone tablets, or inscriptions that point to a cosmic or extraterrestrial origin of Christianity's core symbols. Strange patterns, sun disks, and references to beings from the sky have allegedly been observed by a select few granted privileged access. These could mirror descriptions found in early Gnostic texts, or even iconography from Sumerian and Egyptian cultures, which some believe indicate a shared contact experience with otherworldly beings. The Vatican has never fully addressed the claims, and requests for academic access to these deeper layers are routinely denied. What are they protecting? Could there be evidence that the foundation of the Church is linked not just to divine revelation, but to an encounter with advanced intelligences misunderstood by early humans? 19. Jesus' forbidden bloodline. One of the most explosive and controversial theories surrounding the Vatican involves the alleged existence of hidden documents that suggest Jesus Christ did not live a celibate life, but was instead married to Mary Magdalene and fathered children. This claim, popularized by books like Holy Blood, Holy Grail, and the Da Vinci Code, proposes that the bloodline of Jesus continued through generations, possibly merging with European royal families. If such a lineage were proven true, it would upend centuries of Christian doctrine that present Jesus as the divine and celibate Son of God. Proponents argue that the Vatican has known of this possibility for centuries, but has deliberately concealed any evidence. Some even claim that early Gnostic texts and apocryphal Gospels removed from the official canon support the idea of a sacred union between Jesus and Mary Magdalene, portraying her not as a prostitute but as a partner, perhaps even an apostle. Adding an even stranger twist, fringe theorists connect this bloodline theory to the ancient astronaut hypotheses. They suggest that Jesus' extraordinary abilities, healing, resurrection, and ascension, might point to a non-human or hybrid origin. If true, the implications would not only shake the foundations of Christianity, but also reframe the very nature of divinity, human origin, and our place in the cosmos. 20. Missing Dead Sea Scrolls, Lost Writings of the Stars. Discovered between 1947 and 1956 in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea, the Dead Sea Scrolls are considered one of the most groundbreaking archaeological finds in human history. These ancient manuscripts, over 900 in total, include early versions of biblical texts, apocalyptic writings, and sectarian rules from a mysterious Jewish group known as the Essenes. But curiously, not all the scrolls have been made public. Several fragments have reportedly gone missing, leading to persistent rumours that some were quietly acquired or hidden by the Vatican. According to some scholars and fringe theorists, the missing scrolls may contain content that radically redefines humanity's religious history. Specifically, they might reference the Watchers described in the Book of Enoch as angelic beings who descended from the heavens to interact with humans. These accounts blur the line between divine figures and what modern readers might interpret as extraterrestrials. Robert Cargill, PhD, shared, "And this is due to the fact that we have this story about these fallen angels that came down and had sex with women. Lamech confronts his wife, bitten, 'Oh, is it my son, or is it one of theirs?' Theorists speculate that the lost scrolls speak of knowledge imparted by star beings, advanced technologies, or cosmic events witnessed by ancient civilizations. Such material would support the ancient astronaut hypothesis, the idea that aliens visited Earth long ago and influenced our spiritual traditions, technological growth, and even genetics. In conclusion, whether you're a believer, skeptic, or simply curious, the Vatican's enduring silence on these disturbing claims raises unsettling questions. Some may dismiss the stories as myth or conspiracy, yet others are grounded in real events, secret documents, and glaring omissions in official history. The deeper one investigates, the more blurred the line becomes between fiction and forbidden truth. If even a fraction is real alien contact, ancient prophecies, or hidden scriptures, the consequences could reshape religion and science alike. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't what the Vatican hides, but why they believe we're not ready to know. And that's the end of today's episode. Thanks a lot for watching. If these secrets shook your perspective, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden truths the world was never meant to see.